I am the founder and CEO of Functional Fluidics, where we're building tools to advance red blood cell health. As a clinician, I always start with a story about the folks who really inspired the work that we do. So I'd like to introduce you to Sean. Sean's a little guy that I met in the ICU, and about a week before this picture was taken, Sean was at home, happy, playful in his normal state of health. But his mom noticed that he wasn't himself. He was tired, he wasn't feeding, he was difficult to console, and he was becoming more and more pale. Instinctively, she took him to the Children's Hospital of Michigan Emergency Department, where he discovered that his red blood cell count was dangerously low. And they rushed him to the ICU, where I met him on call, and we had to take him quickly back into the room. I noticed the fear in Mom's eyes when she had relinquished control. And we had to quickly place central IVs, infuse new red blood cells, give him oxygen to help him breathe. Sean was struggling with a sickle cell disease crisis and was fighting for his life. And unfortunately, this is how many individuals with red blood cell disorders come to us. The good news is that this is a historic time in medicine. For the first time, there are billions of dollars being invested in therapies that improve the health of red blood cells, and sickle cell disease is the first indication for these medications. Now, the problem is that to get access to these drugs, you've got to have had a history of these episodes like Sean presented with, which doesn't make a lot of sense. This is how they find their addressable market. But most of the patients with these red blood cell disorders will have detectable problems with red blood cell health. This greatly expands the market for these drugs. But currently, we don't have objective tests that assess red blood cell health, and that's exactly where we come in. So our solution is a proprietary platform technology that assesses the health of red blood cells. There are two major properties that we assess. One is mechanical fragility, which is the only test available that can assess the stability of the intact red blood cell membrane. The other is adhesion. This is a test that assesses the stickiness of red blood cells, which is by definition a pathologic property of red cells. And it's also, this clicker's going crazy. And it's also been shown to predict crises events in individuals with sickle cell disease before they occur. These same tests have been shown to have value across a number of different larger market indications such as diabetes, cardiovascular disease, sepsis, perinatology, and transfusion medicine. However, our lead indication is sickle cell disease because that's where the need is the most urgent. So what's our business model? It's quite simple. We generate revenue from pharmaceutical companies and from healthcare providers. Pharmaceutical companies need access to our tests to have an objective metric to assess for regulators and for prescribers how their drugs are improving the health of red blood cells. We generated $900,000 in revenue last year and are on track to generate about $2 million in revenue this year. We have a 3-year forecast which shows a significant year-over-year growth in contract research. This contract research also generates data, and that's a gold mine, because this data drives the validation of our tests, and the validation drives utilization by providers in the real world. These payers you see here have all been reimbursing for the tests, but this utilization is ultimately what gets us to payer reimbursement. We currently have 3 unique billing codes that are billed as a bundle. We have a published price with Medicare, and we're actively negotiating contracts with state Medicaid programs. I'd like to tell you about a recent event. So one of our largest customers, Global Blood Therapeutics, was recently acquired, that just was finalized last week by Pfizer for $5.4 billion. This presents a tremendous opportunity for Functional Fluidics. First of all, our R&D aligns very closely with that of Global Blood, now Pfizer's market needs. Our contract research, we have over $1.8 million in active contract research contracts now with Pfizer. And because they have the capital to invest beyond domestic clinical trials into global clinical trials, the growth opportunity is tremendous for us. And for clinical send-out, we're well positioned to define in the real world what red blood cell health means to prescribers and people that are actually going to increase the market share for their drugs in the pipeline that was acquired. How do we do this? So our people are critical, and we have one of the strongest and most seasoned team of leaders in anywhere else in the healthcare space, and I'm very proud of the team we put together. So in summary, we have an exciting opportunity to be the gold standard for the assessment of red blood cell health right here in Southeast Michigan. And we're currently generating revenue in contract research and a growing opportunity in clinical send-out. We have a strong IP position, which creates a barrier to entry for many competitors. We're currently raising a bridge to a Series A round. It's a convertible note for $3 million. We have a term sheet with the lead investor. We've got 60% of the round committed, but we see red blood cell health as foundational. And this is an opportunity to participate in something foundational in the context of healthcare. I'm happy to say that Sean has made a full recovery, and I think if we're successful, we can prevent these type of events from happening with people like Sean and others just like him. So thank you so much for your attention. I'm happy to take any questions if there's time for that. If not, I'm happy to talk with you after. So looks like that's enough.